because right now India is facing a VFX boom. The VFX industry in India is facing a boom, which is funny because ever since the mid 2000s, like Hollywood has been using Indian VFX studios for their stuff. Even now, like my friends have worked on some huge big name Hollywood movies.
Cool.
But you don't think of that.
No.
You just assume, everything is in like LA, right? Like
Toronto, LA.
Toronto or like London.
Mm-hmm.
But a chunk of them are from India. And so we have very skilled technicians. Very skilled. The only reason they're not used in Indian movies is because Indian movies didn't have the budget for that. Which is changing now.
Really? Wait, the Indian films were out budgeted by the VFX industry in India?
No, by Hollywood. Like the reason Indian.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The reason Bollywood VFX
Hollywood was outpricing the VFX.
Yeah. So like Bollywood movies couldn't afford the same level of quality that the same technicians were providing for another film.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So now it's changing. The reason we have so many RRR, everyone's talking about the VFX because there's an audience. When they have an audience, they have the budget.
Yep.
And the same people who worked on all your Avengers and all of that, same people are able to put in the same quality for an Indian movie. And the only thing that changes, there's now an audience for it and they can afford it. So it's not that suddenly out of the blue Indians learned how to do VFX or
no,
filmmaking.
Of course.
It's just that the same people now are able to have the resources for the same thing.
Yeah.
And the resource most of the time is just money and time.
For sure.
So I forgot what I was going to go for. Yeah, so my plan for that is, so right now there's not a big boom in India for gaming or animation. So right now animation is still things you'd see on Cartoon Network as a cartoon. It's like for kids. And games are still your gambling stuff or your phone stuff. So my plan is come out to Europe, get my experience and everything. When the boom happens, go back to India, start my own studio.
So, that'd be so cool.
So that's because the boom hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen. Yeah. And it's not that they don't have the technician or the skill sets. It's just that the market isn't open for that yet in India.
Interesting. I mean, how has the gaming culture? I mean, there has to be a pretty big gaming culture in India, though.
There is. Like, you're going to have all of this in portions, but for it to be at scale, it's going to take a while. So another thing people don't seem to realize, like so many Indians come and tell me that, they're from the middle class. The middle class doesn't exist in India. You're either poor, you're rich, or you're ultra rich.
Really?
Yeah. So I belong in the top 10%. Technically, like you could say I'm a middle class person.
Is it because it's just because there's so many people in the lower class?
Exactly. So like there was a very interesting study that was done. Like maybe I'll share. You can link it in the description. Like it talked about the route of access for different things. Okay, are you educated? Are your parents educated? To what level of education do you get? Like very basic things like that. And then what's your average income, which is the most basic thing to calculate this. And 10%, which is still a huge amount because we're 1.4 billion people, 10% is a huge amount. So which
bigger
is
than most countries.
Which is why I kind of understand why your average 10% will be like, I'm the middle class because they don't have the money like say an Ambani does or something, the ultra rich.
Yeah, but if there's 140 million people,
exactly. But that's
bigger than most countries.
If everyone in your family has finished high school, or if and that's a big deal. Finishing high school is a big deal, and the fact, and if everyone in your family has finished like a bachelor's, you are already rich. The fact that you could do that
makes sense.
So like that's something. It's really hard to put that into perspective even for Indians because like most of, especially me, like we travel in the metropolitan cities.
Yeah.
Right, and any metro is going to be the same.
That makes sense.
Which is why like me going to Berlin wasn't that big a deal, or because like that's familiar because I know that it's a melting pot of different cultures from different parts of like Mumbai is literally like Mumbai is the city of dreams. The city never sleeps, which is very synonymous to New York, right? It's similar. People come from all over India to Mumbai to find a job and make it work. And also like I learned professionalism in Mumbai, like because of this, because like people come to Mumbai to make it work. They're not here to dilly daddle. They're not here just like I just need to make something. So like someone who's driving an Uber could actually be an aspiring actor or doing something else. So everyone is here to make it work. So they take whatever they're doing very seriously.
For sure.
So like my professionalism, I owe it to Mumbai because when I moved to India, moved to Chennai, like you could not take anything away, but you could instantly tell the difference in work ethics and mentality.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you're native to that place, the stakes are much lower because you already have a house most of the time. Like you're doing it because you just need money. There's no other higher.
You have a fallback.
You have a fallback. But if I'm moving to another city, that means that I have people back home who are reliant on me making it here for it to work. Or even for myself that, okay, I have to prove it to myself that I approved it everything that I had and came here. I have to make it work to validate myself, right?
Definitely.
Similar to us moving to Germany.
Absolutely.
Like we approved what we had. So we are here. We're not here as a vacation. We are here like if
we're here to make it worth it.
Yeah, exactly. This decision, I have to justify it. So I have to come good.
Yeah.
So that's something Mumbai has a lot. It's just bustling with energy, people
That's
just
cool.
doing things all the time. And that really taught me to be professional. If you get a job, regardless of how small or how big it is, how mediocre or menial that you think it is compared to your status,
Yeah.
you do it to the best of your capacity.
Man, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm now just excited about the Indian gaming scene because I never really thought about it. Because I'm like,
There are a couple of
obviously
esports stuff. There is
Yeah.
not very
no, but still though, yeah. When it comes to game studios, I mean, you hear about like the Chinese studios. You
Yeah.
hear about, of course, any American place or German or English studios. But yeah, I mean, numbers wise, India should have some huge studios that have global audiences.
There was one game that came out called Raji, the Untold Story. I'm not sure if you played it.
I don't get it.
That got a bit of international eyeballs to it, which is nice.
Mhm.
But one thing that's happening after the pandemic is the board games have
Ooh.
increased in India. So I'm like so fascinating. I've
Oh,
been playing this
interesting.
one game called Bharata, which is an
Interesting.
Indian-made board game, which is a mix of Catan and Risk. It's like a mix
Oh,
of those. Oh, it's so
two
fun.
things I love.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So like I've been like consciously trying to get more Indian-made board games.
Yeah.
So I think it's only a matter of time before. And again, it is because there was some market for it. Like the pandemic lockdown, all your chess sets were all sold out. All your monopolies were gone. Your Catans were gone. So like you start looking for other options to keep yourself occupied.
Wow.
So like
Necessity creates
Yeah.
innovation. I mean, yeah, that's
Again,
really cool.
like not just that, like in the sense that the same games, if it existed before, I would not have bought it because I'm like, oh, like who made that? Like, is it going to be of good quality or good standard? Did they do proper game testing? Do we have that resources to do that?
Right.
The fact that like now, like shit, this is good.
That's really cool.